Just about a day after he bought a more than 9% share of
Aw, his face is so full of joy, isn't it?
Twitter, Elon Musk, who is going to be a passive investor, I'll remind you, has been appointed to the board. We found that out thanks to the CEO, Parag Agrawal, who tweeted, "I'm excited to share that we're appointing Elon Musk to our board. Through conversations with Elon in recent weeks, it became clear to us that he would bring great value to our board. He's both a passionate believer and intense critic of the service, which is exactly what we need on Twitter and in the boardroom to make us stronger in the long term. Welcome, Elon." And he responded, "Looking forward to working with Parag and Twitter board to make significant improvements to Twitter in coming months." And I'm sure that that's how this is going to go.
Well, if you hold Twitter stock and the wealthiest man alive and one of the most followed users on the platform becomes its main shareholder and so significantly ups the stock value, yeah, actually you would be in favor of that move.
I have just thought about every interaction that Elon Musk has had with Twitter.
Yeah, and you probably cried like a little bitch while the rest of us were giddy at your pathetic despair.
What he has contributed to Twitter.
Again, happy shareholders.
I just think, Dan, that him being on the board means.
Oh, it means that literally every single thing about Twitter from here on in that you don't like, you are going to blame on him. That is an official prediction, people. It has now been tainted with the money of a great white man. If you can't tell, I'm really enjoying this.
That all of our actual concerns about the service, the frustrations that people have, will now be addressed.
See, what I tell you, and listen here, you collectivist bellend, what exactly is our actual concern you're referring to? I'm not even on the platform, and I can guarantee you my concerns of the platform problems are a hell of a lot different than yours.
Do you share my optimism?
Absolutely not.
If you're sitting there thinking, oh boy, I bet Spoon's head is awash with some colorful language right about now, you would be correct in this assessment, because how could it not be? Look at this guy. The dyed hair, the soft face, the vocal inflection, the mannerisms, the sass. He screams flaming homosexual from a fucking mile off. This is just me. But if you go out of your way to accrue as many stereotypical characteristics as you can muster in the cultivation of your identity, then you should be ridiculed mercilessly because it's ridiculous. Far as comedy goes, you're fair fucking game. And don't give us this crap of, oh, it's a personal identity. No, that is a group identity, and it's a well-recognized one that pisses many a people off. So if you choose to don the uniform, perhaps you should acquiesce to the fact that doing so could earn you its ire. My word, less than 3 words out of this guy's mouth and everyone can correctly guess what he would prefer going into it. I have noticed my English vocabulary has improved drastically since I started doing these videos.
I can't even pretend to be cynical or joke about this. This is definitely concerning.
Why?
There's a reason, there's this little silver lining that you have as a graphic at the end, so I'll wait for that. But to begin with, I'll say that from a little bit of the rumblings I've heard, the people who work at Twitter are not pleased with the fact that Elon Musk, who is a controversial figure to say the least.
No, he is not. Elon is not remotely controversial. Trump is I wouldn't even say controversial by my standards, but compared to that, Elon is a damn teddy bear.
Who, postures as being this altruistic billionaire, but in reality is really just in for capitalist exploitation for himself.
That means nothing coming from you people. You economically illiterate nitwits think that capitalism by itself is exploitation. You think a profit incentive for some reason is bad, even though it is the main instrument used for effective resource allocation to best satisfy the demands of the consumer. But there I go again with my common sense. Moving on.
I think just to come up top of my head, and full disclosure, my headline tweet on Twitter is the time I tweeted to Elon Musk, how long till Elon Musk gets the guillotine, and he actually responded. So I don't really love the guy.
Wow, he sounds like a sane, warm person, doesn't he? Rather funny considering about 20 seconds ago he called Elon controversial, yet now admits he publicly advocated for beheading him. And then he boasts about that being his headline tweet. At least the people I want to fire out of the cannon are actually harming society by violating the natural order.
He just recently, there's that instance where Tesla had routine racism at one of its factories.
Would you mind citing specifics? Speaking in the English language, these godforsaken heathens have perverted it so much, I am forced to ask, what do they mean by racism exactly? Because if we're going by their stupid leftover definition of power plus privilege, then Elon Musk being the wealthiest man in the world and also white, he is the walking personification of racism, regardless of what he's even done.
And it's one of those cases where Elon Musk is a CEO getting a lot of criticism for how he's treating workers and employees just kind of turns the other way.
Yeah, likely because he thinks it's a stupid waste of time, so why bother?
So another instance where Elon Musk ignores the wishes of workers, that's going to be very important for the guy who's trying to colonize Mars. But
Definitely.
Listen here, you stupid Sorry, old colonial spirit kicking in there. We aren't even on Mars yet, and this retard already has racism on the brain. Seek help immediately. Clearly you're insane. Not that it would matter because you people don't like colonialism the last time I checked, so don't worry, you won't be invited. For the very same reason you just bitched about, actually. And don't you understand the mere fact that the workers want something does not mean it is moral, or just, or even viable. Ask Cenk what happened when a bunch of his own employees wanted to unionize, for example.
Yeah, when it comes to coming on Twitter, remember, we have this outsized belief of how relevant Twitter is because we're in the political space, but it does guide a lot of the conversation that ends up trickling down to people. But Elon Musk has this Joe Rogan informed victim complex that people with millions of followers and tons of wealth and fame and status who could call any show and get booked on it instantly are certainly at risk of being canceled or at risk of having their free speech revoked or whatever.
They literally remove the Twitter of the President of the United States, you dingus. This is a really, really stupid hill to die on.
All these things about shadow banning and whatever. Maybe there's a silver lining in that Elon Musk is, an engineer-minded person and works at these companies. And maybe if someone sits him down and goes, okay, you're not in charge of this company, so you can't call the shots, first of all.
Can we pause and take stock of what just happened? This little Fruit Loop just postulated the most ridiculous of hypothetical scenarios featuring Elon Musk. Elon Musk, CEO, owner of Tesla, world's wealthiest man, being told how being on the board of directors of a company works. He is the largest shareholder. That means he holds influence, not only with the board, but also with the user base. If Elon says jump, people will ask how high. And if you don't like it, do what you told us to do. Make your own fucking platform.
Second of all, these are the reasons why shadow banning is a little bit overblown, or why your Twitter would be a lot worse if we didn't automatically filter these certain things. And yeah, we don't always get it right. Lord knows Twitter does not always get it right. But a lot of these different things are a little bit more complicated than an outsider might believe.
Listen here, pal. Let me try and explain something to you. Him being on the board, the massive amount of money he just chucked into the machine, it would be a wise move from a business perspective to listen to the world's wealthiest guy on how to actually make money, considering Twitter has not operated on a profit for God knows how many fucking years. I get the feeling him being inside Twitter, significantly wealthier than you will ever be, and dealing with the complex problems and running a company looking to potentially colonize Mars, you trying to appear smarmy, saying things like, more complicated than an outsider might believe, makes you look like the world's biggest twat.
Maybe Elon Musk would get that. Also, Elon Musk is a hard-headed jackass, so I doubt it.
Case and fucking point. Look at that face. What an insufferable piece of shit.
Yeah, 100%. And he's also perfectly willing to lie. Like he could just begin tweeting, yeah, no, they told me they shadow ban conservatives. And you'd think, well, why would he lie about that?
That is not news, John, nor would it be a lie. We have known for almost half a decade now, out of the mouth of Twitter's own employees. So if you think this is a lie, Elon would suddenly peddle. It strikes me as weird a news junkie like yourself would not know this, and so simply dismiss it as a lie. And then again, he is a progressive, lying part and parcel of the political weaponry.
Because Elon Musk, despite being a famous person and the wealthiest person on the planet, every second of every day, he is desperately thirsty to be more relevant, to have more people love him, and to be showered with more wealth.
The salt I am gathering appears to be tainted with the substance called projection.
He is maybe eclipsing Trump. He is horny to be bigger than he is. So you don't think that he would lie about that? You don't think he'd use his position?
Are we even talking about the same person? I have watched many an interview, hours of this guy talking. I have never once gotten advice from him, ever. I remember the second time he was on Rogan, he was noticeably more relaxed, and people were joking Elon got an update because he appeared more human. The only thing him and Trump have in common, at least when it comes to their opponents, is the effortlessness at which their mere words trigger a disproportionately insane response. And again, why are you trying to paint Elon as a liar? It's almost as if he's trying to take that phrase of repeating the lie often enough and that it becomes true and reverse it and associate a true statement to someone he's trying to portray as a liar, the sneaky bastard.
That's how he's used Twitter from the very beginning.
Yeah, it's called shitposting, you humorless dong. Do you understand your overblown reaction to this? It's funny to normal people. No, of course not. Progressives have zero sense of humor.
He runs in plain view pump and dump schemes on cryptocurrency.
By doing what? Saying buy Dogecoins?
On social media. He doxes journalists.
Citation needed, asshole.
Like, this is already what he's done. And he has almost never faced any consequences for the way he's manipulated Twitter illegally to benefit himself financially. What do you think? There are going to be more consequences now?
No, actually, I don't think anyone cares about that. And if he was hypothetically able to do that before while not being on the board, I don't see why him being on it would somehow facilitate it to a greater degree either.
Like, he's now even more immune.
More immune? Oh, good lord, this is such poor use of English. Stop with your redundant wordage, you buffoon.
He can do anything he wants, and conservatives will be reassured that they too will be free to do whatever they want with him as their champion on the inside, breaking the terms of service, endangering people's lives, endangering journalists' lives.
Considering the hatred that James O'Keefe gets, I don't want to hear a fucking word from you about caring of the safety of journalists, you disingenuous lowlife snake.
That's what this is really about. And so why wouldn't Republicans be excited about it?
Sorry, I'm starting to drift off here. Did this guy just say that Elon Musk being on Twitter's board of directors is somehow going to aid in the harming of journalists, and that's the whole motivation for his Twitter stock purchase? Elon Musk buying Twitter stock is all to promote the physical assault of journalists. Do these people ever pause and realize how fucking utterly deranged and insane they sound out loud?
As they are, as you'll see in this clip.
That Elon Musk is a conservative per se, it's that he's a free thinker.
Right.
And that's what used to be, Twitter used to be an open field of free thought.
Right. Wondered, she's a former Treasury official, friend of this show. She wondered if Elon Musk would help unfreeze Donald Trump's account, given the fact that if you really want all the opinions out there, she argues, you probably should let the former president come back to Twitter.
We'll see. We'll see. It's very exciting, though, for people who are sick of all the censorship.
You're right, but the left has determined that speech is violence. You know, that's their argument on so many of these things. So if he attempted to bring Donald Trump back, which he should, the target gets even bigger on his back.
But
So really fast, and I'm gonna try to keep this brief because I can see one or two people in the chat being like, why are you against Elon Musk? Because he's pro free speech. I'm going to beg you to please think at least more than like 1 micron deep into these topics.
Funny, pal, I think you should really take your own advice. Maybe remove the phrase into these subjects. I'd advise you to start simply thinking in fucking general, because the more you talk, the more I am convinced you are either escaped from a mental home or you forgot to take medication that keeps you from going on a rampage.
Just because they say they're pro free speech doesn't mean that they are.
Very true, and the left can attest to that. Though conservatives aren't the ones silencing people, and I'm not sure what the hell Musk would get by employing more censorship into Twitter, especially if his investment option indicates that he's in it for the long haul, which we now know because he wants to buy the company.
As I said, the guy doxes journalists who report factual information about him.
I'm going to take that with a dose of salt potent enough to put down a rhino, because you fuckers aren't exactly known for journalistic integrity. So I do beg your pardon if I don't trust you on face value.
Do you think he's pro free speech? Them right there, they're saying he's just a free thinker. He just likes free speech. How many books have they encouraged to be banned recently? How many words, phrases have they said you can't say in schools? How many, they're trying to cancel Disney literally as we speak.
What, you mean through boycotting them by not buying their shitty woke merchandise that's purposefully created to indoctrinate children after Disney came out and openly admitted they have a gay agenda? I think that's kind of sensible to kill that perverted beast. I don't know about you.
Could you please not buy lock, stock, and barrel into all of the framing that they've done around this issue?
Why not? It's funny. And it's not like you fucking idiots don't frame everything through progressivism, which is why you're all coming off like the main snack at TYT is cocaine.
They are not pro-free speech. They are pro their censorship.
Yes, which is fair enough, because some things deserve to be censored, like naughty adult content around children. We aren't completely unrestricted.
And very much in favor of getting away with saying insane things.
Yeah, coming from you, that's maybe a bit, no.
That's it. They want to be defended. They're not defending values, they're defending their own interests.
Actually, you can defend both at the same time. They aren't exclusive of one another. For example, it is in my interest as a sane man of society to defend children from perverts in the educational system. That is my value.
That's it. And this should not need to be explained. It is all abundantly clear.
To everyone except you retards. And the rest of this is just irrelevant babbling about them being offended at Musk stealing memes. As if people who are fans of Musk wouldn't be extremely giddy at him sharing a meme they made. Would probably make their year if he did. Though I can't imagine anyone at TYT would understand the phrase fan or joy. They seem to be disingenuous, miserable pieces of shit. Then again, I would be too if I was within earshot of America's fattest buffalo. And that's all for today. Until next time.